We are live here at 2 for 1 Joe. Of course, Mondays at 9 a.m. I am here with my good friend Luke Irvin.
Hey, hey.
Hey, hey, hey. And of course, we have Black Adam here in the bottom left. We are here today to bring you the movie news that you probably need to know about. And it is March 21st, 2022. So we got some exciting things to talk about today. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, that notification bell. That way you're updated on all future episodes of not only 2 for 1 Joe, but also podcast 2 for 1, as well as the cool content we have at 2 for 1 Studios. Every like, every subscribe helps people find the channel and helps us make more content for you guys. All right, Luke. We have, of course, starting off the week, we have the top three box office um, for February. Well, that's not right. Didn't update my sheet here. Yeah, for March. Whoops. But we have the top three. Of course, the Batman came in at 36.8 million. It is right there at 600 million globally, which is pretty good for we're still. I don't know. I think we're still in the pandemic era. I don't know. We're coming out of it.
I think we're
Kind
coming
of.
out of it.
I think we're coming out of it. But it's kind of like we're still getting residuals though. Like there's some theaters, I think like in China, there's only 40% that are open, stuff like that. That's still affecting the box office. But 598 is really good for any movie. And of course, it's very possible that this will probably reach about 850, 900, which is good.
hmm
I mean, it's not Dark
Do
Knight, which is right at a billion. But it's
yeah.
good.
Do we know how long the Batman is scheduled to run for? Like, could
We
it be
do.
another?
We do.
Is it
We do.
a month?
On
What is
yeah, I'll
it?
go ahead and skip down. It is it comes out on HBO Max on April 19th. So we have less
Mm,
than a month for
okay.
HBO Max, but it won't come out on Blu-ray until like June, I believe, maybe July. So, and I think I'm not sure how long if it's like a exclusive thing on HBO Max for like 30.
Yeah.
I think it might be there forever after that. I don't think it's going to be like they did last year with the timed 30 days, day in day out thing. I think it's
Yeah.
just on there now. Um,
Okay. It's
which
incredible.
which is pretty close. Yeah, I mean that's not that long away, right? Um,
Yeah.
Jujutsu Kaisen Zero, never heard of it. Come in at second place at 14.8 million. Is probably released in it's probably a Chinese movie. Those do pretty well. And then Uncharted come in at third with 8 million. It's doing pretty well also for Tom Holland. Yes, let's go to the Batman. So it's the second, biggest movie in the pandemic era. It's already made 300 million domestically. It's the second movie to do that since 2000, the end of 2019. It's pretty impressive. And then, of
hmm
course, another cool thing is Paul Dano, who plays the Riddler in the Batman. He actually wrote a comic book that's coming out this fall. It's Riddler Year One, and that's kind of cool. Like I actually may check that out because it's like
Yeah.
Riddler's origin
I
story.
saw the cover, or like I don't know if it's the official cover or the images for it.
Hmm.
Uh, Very intrigued by it. I definitely want to try to find one.
Yeah, and me too. I mean, I was surprised that he wrote it, and I wonder how close it will be to his interpretation, or because the comics are much different than what they did in the movie, and
Sure.
so
Yeah.
I'm curious. Um,
hmm
let's move on. So yeah, Riri Williams, Ironheart is we've done this for a while. It was reported to be in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, but there's more of it though. There's before she hits her solo Disney Plus series. Um, question, I guess for you, Luke and Black Adam
hmm
here on our channel today. What do you know who Riri? I can't sorry to say it's a weird name. Riri Williams. Do you know who she is?
I can't picture a face. I got to look up real quick.
She okay. Well, she is a she's relatively new to the comics. She's
Okay.
probably 3 years, maybe 4 years old, and she
Uh,
is African American and super like genius like Tony Stark, and she makes the most according to the Disney Plus show, and then also in the comics, she makes like the most advanced suit since Tony Stark. And so
Interesting.
she's like a new Iron Man, right? Iron Woman, so to
Okay.
speak.
hmm
And there's a rumor that's been going around for a long time, and Robert Downey Jr. kind of I guess, fanned the flames a little bit here and said that he, implied that he could come back as like a Jarvis situation for
hmm
her.
hmm
Would you be okay with that? Or is that just like,
Yeah.
really? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, man, this world. I feel like we've talked about this before. It's just like if you have the honor and privilege to be one of these characters, like just be able to contribute in any way you can. I get it. You probably get bored of it and get tired of it, but you can always pop back in some way, some shape or form. In this case, being like some sort of Jarvis style voice, I think that would be really fun. It'd be easy for Robert Downey to do. I could see him doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can too. You just wonder then. I don't know. It's a little bittersweet, and then also,
Mhm.
I don't know. There's something about it. I'm just not a huge fan of the Ironheart character in general. Um, there's something about kids. I
Mhm.
don't care race, creed, what. None of that matters. There's something about
Mhm.
kids superheroes I just don't like. It's annoying to me, and which we'll get into Miss Marvel here in a second. So I might eat my own foot. Um, but so anyway, it's I don't know. I guess that she's gonna be in Black Panther Wakanda forever. Obviously, at the end of Black Panther 1, they kind of established these Wakanda reach out
Mhm.
sites, and we really never
Mhm.
saw any of that because next thing we saw was Infinity War and then
Mhm.
Endgame. So we really haven't seen anything with Wakanda in terms of how it affect the how it has affected the world since the end of Black Panther at all. So I
Maybe.
bet, yeah, I bet money she's probably there in America at some time, one of these, and she probably runs into Shuri, something like that.
Yeah.
That's my guess. Question. I'm not sure. I think we've talked about this before, but I'm gonna ask again because it's really a hot topic. Do you think Sherry will be the next Black Panther?
No.
Who's your best bet?
I have not really sure. It's just like one of those things. Like I've
How can
seen
they pull
it
this off? You know,
circulating in like film Twitter lately, where like a lot of people are just like, just go ahead and recast, completely recast Black Panther. Like,
I've
let's
been
just move
saying
on
it
with that.
since day one. Day one. I'm not sure. I can't remember if Daniel argued with me on this or not. We did argue about Clark Kent, Superman, but
Hmm.
I personally think they should have recasted it the day after he passed. Like, not the day after he passed away, but it shouldn't have been. Hey, we're not going to recast him.
Hmm.
Because he is T'Challa, right? And I get
Yeah.
it. I mean, I don't know who could play a better version of T'Challa than Chadwick Boseman, but I feel like
Yeah.
it makes the character smaller when you put him in the back. It makes him not as big as Bruce Wayne Batman or Clark Kent Superman, and
Right.
I would like the idea of like this character like a Spider-Man. This character is as big as them, and he can live on for generations and be played by different black actors and be different, generational hero for all these kids. And I feel like that's much more important than I feel like that's also what Chadwick would wanted. I'm saying that as someone who's never met the man, knows nothing about him other than seeing him in the movies and his interviews. But I feel like that's a real legacy, and
Yeah.
and not sidelining this character because after this, like this new Black Panther will be the Black Panther for however many years. People are going to
Right.
eventually forget about Chadwick Boseman. I mean, they won't, and they will. You know what I'm saying? It won't be a hot
Right.
thing anymore. But they could have always had T'Challa there
Yeah.
always. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
The whole thing with like Shuri is like the actress, it kind of went through so much heat. There was like the whole cancel culture about,
Yeah,
some,
vaccine
things
stuff.
that were said. And I know fans were upset that like it seemed like at one point she was away from the film and then came back. And I know fans were upset. So I'm just curious to see how that could play on this
Yeah,
one. It seems like that conversation itself has kind of died down. Like I don't see anything really active about it anymore. So maybe people just stop caring.
I mean
Um,
it's not the news hottest thing, right? But yeah,
right.
she did have she had an injury on set, and so she
Mhm.
just come back recently in the last month and a half or so to
Mhm.
resume filming, and it seems like she has a big role because the movie shut down. I think because of it. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm curious to see who it is. I personally love the idea of Michael B. Jordan being redeemed as
Yeah.
Killmonger and being the new Black Panther
Yeah.
because he has the formula and that kind of stuff. There's
Mhm.
no reason to say that he didn't survive the end of that movie. Um,
True. Yeah.
It looks like he's dead, of course, but I think there's something there he could survive. Anyway, this is not really this doesn't hold so much water for me. It's more for this one's more for Joel than anything, but just for the fact that I thought he could maybe shed some light on us for us. on this character, but Kite Man for HBO Max cartoon show. This comes from the Harley Quinn showrunner Patrick Schumacher. But I haven't watched the Harley Quinn HBO Max show. I hear it's really great and it's a good cartoon. But what I thought was the funnest part about this thing was that it's gonna be a cartoon like Cheers for supervillains. Like he's gonna run a bar. There'll be other these supervillains at the bar, I guess, like in old Cheers fashion. But Kite Man's kind of like the butt of a joke in a lot of DC stuff. I was hoping Joel was on here to kind of fill us all in, but but he's not here today. So we'll get him here next time to talk about it. But let's go ahead and move on to have you watched Harley Quinn, the HBO Max show?
No, not yet. I've been playing catch up on a bunch of other series, so
it's so much, man. It's so hard.
Yeah, I've seen images for this one, so I definitely want to check it out. I do like that concept, though. I mean, just initially, it's made me think of like, could you do the same concept in like a John Wick world, right? Like, just have like a little mini series and like their common ground where like they go just have conversation, like all these assassins just having conversations at a bar.
That's a good idea. And if you're John Wick, you'll just kill him anyway, right? In John Wick 2. Dude, I'm excited for John Wick 4. I remember, all those movies, 1, 2, and 3, just like, oh my god, they're so good, and they're all in all their own different ways. Do what?
I went and bought them all on Blu-ray.
Oh man, they're so good, and I was very happy when that first one came out. And I was like, oh man, this is a good action movie. Like it's cool seeing Keanu back, and we got our Keanu-sance, right, a renaissance of Keanu Reeves, and yeah, I mean, I'm super excited for those. I'm more than anything, I want Common to come back. They've been shot like story wise, they're back to back to back, and it leaves open for Common to come back sometime soon. So, him in 2, I loved him in 2. I was like, man, you're good, you're a good actor, just a cool actor. So let's talk about Morbius. We're actually getting really close to Morbius. I think we're
we hope.
Yeah, we hope it'll come out. They've done a really big marketing push on this the last couple weeks, and I mean, obviously we're talking about it because we're getting more news on it all the time. But I think it's gonna come out, and I think it will. We'll see how it does. If Venom did really well considering what it was, so well, it did well for anything, but. I have a feeling this will do okay for him. So Jared Leto talks on Spider-Man's inclusion. Well, I would love to get into the ring with Spider-Man. I think Tom Holland is amazing, and we'd make quite a dynamic duo, I guess. Which Spider-Man, though? Like that's the question: is which Spider-Man?
I mean, there, he is saying Holland, but
he is.
But is that some like? Are people going to read into that like, oh man, Holland's going to be in this one? But could it actually?
I don't think so.
Could be Garfield or?
Well, I'm going to read you this next quote here from the director. So the director says there's a spider totem in all realities, right? So he says, this is the very end of the quote. Then you have the second kind of legend, which is about the totem, which is that in all universes there's a spider totem, which means that in all universes there has to be a Spider-Man or a Spider-Woman, and that actually kind of comes basically right from the comics, right? So there's almost like animal totems or like mystical figures in all the realities of Marvel, and it's always Spider-Man or a Spider-Woman, right? We have 1,000 different versions of those in the comics. You see that a lot in the Spider-Verse cartoon, and of course we dabbled in this recently in the last movie for the last live action movie. And he says this, so they're obviously having these conversations about kind of how to define these different versions of Spider-Man within the Spider-Man universe that's connected to the MCU. And it's cool because, I mean, I know we're getting, and we'll have a little bit of casting news down here a little bit for Madam Web, but Madam Web's coming up, which will be a huge movie in terms of trying to connect all these characters. And we're going to have, we're eventually going to have a movie, like we got this in Spider-Man No Way Home, but I have a feeling the more and more this stuff that's coming out, we're going to have like an event level Avengers movie, but just for Spider-Man. That's not really focused on so much a character arc or one particular character, but it's like combining all these characters for some big battle event. And I think that's pretty cool. I mean, it's pretty wild. It's also one of those things like, you get Spider-Man No Way Home, and that's what that basically is. But it's still tailored to Tom Holland's universe. It's still tailored to his sensibilities, the humor. that kind of thing. But I see it. I see a version where we get, Spider-Gwen, maybe a cartoon version, all these other things, and Morbius and Venom, and they're shooting Kraven the Hunter right now, and and they're doing Spider-Woman. I think Spider-Woman may be the Madam Web movie now. We don't 100% know that, but it's getting bigger and bigger, and it's kind of actually exciting, even though I'm lukewarm on some of these other spin-offs. But it's pretty interesting.
I'm excited.
How do you feel about Morbius? I mean, like, I've asked you this 100 times, but for our listeners,
I'm just ready to see it. At this point, it's just like, give it to us.
I don't think it looks that bad. Every time I see a trailer for it, I'm like, what? It looks pretty good. Like, it looks not bad.
They stuck, and it's like they've stuck with the same, pretty much set up in the trailer, the same scenes. So, and I haven't even looked to see what the runtime for Morbius is yet. So
I think it's, we'll look it up. I think it's,
is it going to be right at 2 hours or under 2 hours?
Hour and 44 minutes. That's good. That's a good little time. Okay. That's good. Yeah, I mean, that's solid. You can get some more viewings in there in the theater. And the thing is, we'll have like a good drought between Batman and that. And it's similar in terms of their dark characters, but they're going to be wildly different movies. And they're obviously they're marketing this as it's something to do with Spider-Man. I mean, Michael Keaton's the Vulture's in it, and it really feels like it's required viewing if you're a hardcore fan trying to connect all these pieces together. I mean, I'll be there, so
I'll be there too. Because they've definitely set it up so we know that it's kind of in this Spider-Man world, but Morbius is also tied with Blade. So I'm more curious if we'll get any kind of clues towards Blade.
I really don't think we will. I think they're really, we're seeing more cooperation now than ever with like the Venom showing up for 5 seconds in the after credit scene, but it's still 5 seconds. I think Kevin is still very protective of his universe, and he's allowing this to happen so he can have Spider-Man and he can do all the cool things he wants to do. I don't think for 1 second that if he had the power to like flip a switch and be like, nope, we have all the characters and you can't do anything and I can erase these movies, I think he would pull that switch faster than anything, like so hard. I feel like he's probably in a bind, and but I think what he's doing so far, I'm like, I'm okay with this. Like, it's so smart. I mean, having Venom show up for a second to kind of appease those Sony execs, kind of. I feel like they got a raw deal. I'm happy for it, actually. But then you get Venom into the universe now, and it's like, oh, okay. Well, they have their cake and eat it too, and it's just, I love it. So I'm really, really happy about that. I was hoping I could do a hyperlink. Next thing here. Wayne T. Carr from Zack Snyder's Justice League, he has released an official image here of what he would have looked like as Green Lantern at the end of Zack Snyder's Justice League. We've caught up now with the 1 year anniversary since the release of that movie. It's wild. It's been a year since the movie's come out already. And of course, people are really pumping up the Restore the Snyderverse thing. It's just like every month. It's like it trends. It's constantly, man. It's never ending. Yeah. And but this is a cool image. So and this suit is CGI completely. He was in he was in like a motion cap suit whenever they shot it on Zach's garage or patio or garage or whatever. And this is the scene at the very end of the movie. Spoilers, everybody. That when Bruce wakes up and he talks to in the final version it's Martian Manhunter, but here it's John Stewart Green Lantern. And as we all know, the studios was like, hey, you can't use him because we have potential plans for John Stewart. They've had that. They've had potential plans for 10+ years now, and they don't want you to do it. I think he shot it, and then he had them do visual effects work on it, so that costs money to make this shot. Like, this isn't something that someone just did and for fun and spare time. Like, this is like that suit is CGI, it looks really good for CGI suit, and it looks miles better also than the suit we got in the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern universe.
Yep.
I love that the it's from the comics, but his emblem on his chest is protruding out in like a holographic kind of thing, which we get that a little bit in the dark side flashback sequence in the movie in both versions of Justice League actually. Um, what's interesting though is they shot with Martian Manhunter, so I wonder if it's the same dialogue on Bruce Wayne's end,
Yeah,
but they just had Martian Man because it had to be different dialogue.
I
Because
would think so. Yeah, that's what I was just thinking.
like at least like I think Bruce's is probably the same. So you kind of wonder how they. I mean, maybe they shot two versions. It's very possible, but I have
Yeah,
a feeling they didn't. I don't know. That's interesting. But question: did you like Zack Snyder's Justice League?
yeah, I actually did enjoy it. So much more than the original
Oh,
that
for
we were
sure.
got. I haven't purchased this one on like 4K yet, but it's one like eventually like I'll definitely probably pick up a physical copy.
Oh man, it
Um,
was my most anticipated 4K movie. Like just for the fact that it was.
yeah.
I mean, I have. I mean, at the time, I have shared the hashtag.
Hmm.
Release the Snyder cut,
Yeah.
and I was all up in that. And I did research, and I was. I mean, me and Daniel broke down all the five movie arc at the time, what we knew about it, and on the podcast, years ago, and
Hmm.
we just I was obsessed with it, and I was obsessed with just the Joss Whedon version and the controversy behind it, and we just started getting more and more of it last year, right, with Ray Fisher and all these other
Hmm.
Variety and Hollywood Reporter articles, everything else, and it's a wild Hollywood story, and it's something that's never really happened before in that way, and so it's. I really like the movie a lot. It's not perfect. It's not what I would have done with Justice League for the first outing,
Yeah.
but I'm glad we got to see it because it's
Hmm.
obviously infinitely better than the last version. And
Hmm.
I was always hey, if they make Justice League 2 and 3, I'm down for it. Like whatever.
Yeah.
Again, it's not what I would do, but do you think? I'll ask this. I know your answer. Do you think we'll get Zack Snyder's Justice League Part 2 and 3?
No.
I don't either.
No.
There's no way, right?
I I mean, there's always a way, but it's just like it seemed like right after Snyder finished up what he kind of said he accomplished what he wanted to, but it's like shortly after that, it's like all of a sudden like here's this massive deal I have with Netflix where I'm about to work on like what was it 11 or 12 new things in this whole new zombie universe. It's like okay,
Not
that's
counting Red Moon, yeah.
yeah, that's
Just
where your
his
time's about to go.
exactly. I mean, they gave him that's the thing. His I don't mean this in a bad way, but it's going to come
Hmm.
off bad. I mean it in a bad way a little bit actually. His fan base is almost cultish, and they're
Yeah,
going to follow him everywhere.
yeah.
And so I mean, like Army of the Dead was trending for the Oscar best Oscar movie or whatever or best fan favorite movie or whatever, and I was like, Jesus Christ, like I get it. But, it's hey,
Yeah.
it's exactly what that is for. Is for the fans to
Mhm.
vote for that. But it's also like no one is saying Army of the Dead is the best
Yeah.
fan movie of the year. It probably should go to like the highest grossing movie of the year. Just like it shouldn't have to, but it's like clearly there's something there. If you have to have repeat viewings to hit $1 billion. You have to have
Mhm.
a lot of repeat viewings to hit almost $2 billion. We're talking about Spider-Man here, of course, right? So I don't know. I mean, like it's possible, but you got to understand Ben Affleck he came back for the Flash and has said that it was his favorite time making that movie. And also, maybe
Mhm.
it's because internally it was like his last time playing the Batman, so he kind of knows he gets to hang it up after this.
Yeah.
Um, and he may come back. You never know, right? We talked about this a couple weeks ago with Ezra Miller, his response to it all. I don't know. I mean, it seems like they don't care about Henry Cavill too much, Superman, which we may get him. We may get him in the Flash or Black Adam or something. But
Yeah.
it's a guessing game. We don't know what the universe is, the state of the universe. Like this universe
Yeah.
has been like at a stalemate since Joss Whedon's Justice League. So it's
Mhm.
just been really weird.
Very unfortunate.
It is. It is. Okay, so let's talk about Miss Marvel trailer. I said a minute ago I don't like kid superheroes, and I meant it. But this trailer is pretty bomb. And have you got a chance to watch it yet, Blue?
I did watch the trailer. Yeah,
Awesome.
I liked
And
it.
I
I
I
thought it
did
was
too,
fun.
man. I did too.
Um, I'm trying to see like what my first reaction was to it, because I compared it to like two things.
I immediately thought of "Take on Me," the music video from the '80s, and
Oh yeah, yeah,
the
yeah,
just it has that '80s vibe to it with the music, of course, but it
yeah,
also has like this MTV music video aesthetic in terms of her dreamscape kind of area.
yeah,
I liked it a lot. What was your first reaction to it?
yeah. So like some of some of the way they did like effects and stuff basically looked a lot like Into the Spider-Verse.
Ooh, yeah, you're right.
Very similar vibes there, but I was also getting, and maybe this goes into like the '80s stuff, like Stranger Things. I was getting like these Stranger
Yep.
Things like kind of feels from it as well. Not in terms of like any kind of like, because Stranger Things leans a little bit more towards like horror in a way. But it's just maybe it's just more so the '80s vibes and the fact that it's kids, like kid superheroes, a kid
Yeah.
superhero.
I mean, if I say this, I don't like kid superheroes, but then you kind of slap on these, different paints like '80s and the music and all this kind of stuff. Then I'm like, oh, okay, now I'm in again all of a sudden. Because if I was going to make an '80s kid superhero movie, it would be exactly that. I would have '80s music.
Yeah,
I mean, like, and granted, it's not. It takes place live or modern day, but it has that
yeah,
feel of coming of age, that kind of stuff. And I
mhm,
love coming of age stories. There's something about
yeah.
superheroes, kid superheroes. I think it's just not as cool as like Iron Man and Spider Man and
Yeah.
Wonder Woman and
Yeah. So
um,
I got a question. I got to,
yeah,
this is outside of like Marvel and DC,
sure,
but what
sure.
about Kick-Ass? Were you a fan of Kick-Ass? I mean, because in a way that's kind of a kid superhero, but it's, kind of older
Luke, I
kid.
love Kick Ass 1 and 2. I think they're both. I think Kick Ass 2 is as good as Kick Ass 1.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't I don't think it's better. I think it's as good as, which is like the
As
highest
good. Yeah.
compliment I can give to a
Yeah.
sequel.
Yeah.
And I rewatched them recently in the last year and a half actually, and I've seen Kick Ass 1 a fuck ton, but I've
Yeah.
always loved those movies. You're right, they are kids, but it's wrapped around very adult like
Yeah.
like content. You know what I'm saying? It's not. It's and they're like right on the verge of like seniors in high school. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they also don't look like kids. But
Right. Except for the girl. Can't remember her name.
yeah, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh, you talking about Hit Girl?
Like,
Um,
Hit Girl. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But Nicolas Cage is
But
in that movie. You know what I mean? Like,
I know.
and she's like killing people like an adult would, or more than an adult
Yeah.
would. Um,
Right.
I don't know. And that's kind of the absurdity of that one, right?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't mind kid superhero stuff. I just think that there's just something about it that kind of resonates. I think also I'm not a fan of passing the baton to kid versions of yourself. Like
Sure.
I don't know. I think there's something about it. I'd rather have Peter Parker be Spider-Man forever, personally.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then there's exceptions. I mean, look at
Hmm.
Miles Morales. That's
Yep.
incredible, but so
Hmm.
there's ways of doing it to get me on board. Of course, I may just be
Yeah.
wrong.
This,
I may just be
right.
fighting my
And I
old
mean, like,
self.
this is going to go into like, so we kind of already are seeing that in Marvel. We're moving closer to like a younger Justice or younger Young Avengers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Curious though if DC, if we'll get like a live action like Teen Titans in terms of like, I know there is the series, but like will we
Mm-hmm.
get like a theatrical version?
I mean, if the universe doesn't implode on itself, like if they can have a few wins here amongst the not wins,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, they're going to burn every property they have, just like Marvel has. They're going to burn through all of it
Yeah.
until we get down to the Miss Marvels, the Moon Knights, which I love Moon Knight, but it's not an A-list character in the comics. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
or he's not like a Spider-Man or a Captain America or an Iron Man, right? And you know, it will. It's Murphy's law. If it can't happen, it will happen. Especially when it
Mhm.
comes to IP and property and that kind of stuff. It's very possible. I mean, we do have that Titan show. It kind of tells you right there. There's already they've been doing it for a couple of years now, so there's already interest there. Obviously you have Robin. There's the cartoon. There's a built-in fan base. That's an easy one for me to say. Yes, there is.
Mhm.
And they're kind of already dipping their toes a little bit into the younger audience because of the Super Pets movie coming out this summer. or the end of the summer. So I think there's definitely a place there. I mean, I saw when I was in California, I went to the theater to watch the Teen Titans Go movie, which was awesome. And so I mean, I went to that, and I was 24, 25 when it came out. So there's definitely an appetite for it. I we'll see what happens with the Avengers here. And what's interesting too is that this is, I mean, all these are essential viewing, and we're only 9 days out from Moon Knight by the BT Dubs. So super excited for that. We're getting some wicked trailers for that one lately, which is, it's just looking better and better and better. But Miss Marvel will leap over into the Marvels, the Captain Marvel sequel, with Monica Rambeau's Photon, and then Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel, and of course now Kamala Khan's Miss Marvel. So I really wonder what that's going to be like, and I think that's a cool way of doing it too, is having these, we had her in WandaVision, had her in Miss Marvel, and now we're getting all three of them teaming up in the Marvel's movie. So I think it's, I don't know, it's pretty cool. I'm actually excited to kind of see what they do with it. Did you like Captain Marvel? Did you like Captain Marvel?
I thought it was entertaining. Was it one of my favorites? No, it'd probably go like kind of like lower mid on my list, but it's one I like watch every now and then. But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think everything about I liked everything about that movie except for Carol Danvers, basically.
Yeah.
She's just a little too stiff for me in that movie.
Yeah, right.
She was better in Endgame or maybe Endgame, Infinity War, Endgame. I think she'll be better in this next one. I think everyone heard the criticism, and I get it. It matches the character arc a little bit in the movie, but there's something for me to be desired in that portrayal. Sam Raimi is, of course, Doctor Strange. We are less than 2 months out now for Doctor Strange, which is wild. We're getting closer and closer, and we're going to have a huge, podcast, and we'll talk a lot on this channel and everything else about all the shit that's going to happen in this movie. I just assume we know like 20-30% of what's going to happen in this movie, and we may know less, but I assume we know at least 30%. So that's still 70%. You think less?
I'm gonna say like 15%.
Oh man, I hope so. I hope everything they showed us is not even real. I hope it's like this is a fake trailer, completely. I hope so. I would love it. I would love to go in there and just like not a goddamn thing I saw in the trailers in the movie. So let's talk about Sam Raimi. He's of course on the press junket now, and everyone, Spider-Man just come out, and of course he directed Spider-Man in the past, and everyone's asking him all these questions. He said he would love to direct a Batman movie. He said it's like one of his dreams, and then also a Shadow movie, which I love. The Shadow, big fan of Alec Baldwin in The Shadow. It's one of my childhood movies. If you haven't, go to 241 Backflash and you can find a video where I break it down. And then talking about Spider-Man No Way Home, he says it's like someone said, your old friends that have passed away, we found a way to bring them back for a brief time. And he kind of talked about some of the hierarchy of which he would want to direct a character. But it almost implied, not from this quote, but from the other stuff, that he would be open, kind of, to directing a Spider-Man 4. Do you think it will happen? That's my question to you, Luke.
I think he'll do it. I think he would do it. I want it to happen so bad. And I feel like if Raimi and Toby would sit down and just like have a heart to heart, because they're like, the fans want it. And if they can get the whole team on board of like, look, we're doing this for the fans, like, it'll happen.
We're doing this for the fans and for the $2 billion we're going to make doing it.
Yeah. I know. I mean, it's tough. Like, and again, like, I don't know some film world is so still new to me, like in the logistics, because I get it's a numbers game, and I'm sure like that's all they're probably thinking about is like, oh, this would do like $2 billion easily. Like, just get away from the number, man.
I don't think it'll make $2 billion. I think it'd make like probably Spider-Man 3 made $870 million, I believe, worldwide when it came out, it's the highest grossing one of the Tobey Maguire series, and it still beats all of them except for No Way Home and Far From Home. So those two have beaten Spider-Man 3. So it's number 3 is the highest grossing Spider-Man movie of all time. ironically. And I think it's very. I mean, it would make $1 billion easily. That movie would. The
Yeah.
hype would be crazy for it.
Yeah.
I would love one more. I mean, I would love 100 more movies with Tobey Maguire, but I would like one more movie to kind of wrap up his story because we kind of ended it with a little bittersweet thing between him and MJ, and we got a little bit of information in No Way Home, but not too much.
Hmm.
And but I think that's deliberate because I think Toby was like, I don't want to give away too much. I think Toby also wants to come back.
Yeah.
Um, I think he wants to come back and he gets to do the press tour leading up to the movie and not hide in
Yeah.
secret. And
Yeah.
he's getting to come out now and talk about it. But and I know some people don't like press tours, but Toby, I mean, that's like for someone who's been out of the limelight for a while, and I mean, also he's going to get a huge payday for it. Again,
Hmm.
I think this is all leading to Secret Wars, and I think Secret Wars on top of like a Spider-Geddon movie, right? We have all the Morbius, Venom, all the
Hmm.
villains, and all the Spider-Men and women and all this other stuff combined. I think it's going to happen too, but I really think Amazing Spider-Man 3 it's very possible, or
Hmm.
Andrew Garfield might be living in within the Venom Morbius universe, and I
Yeah.
really think it's possible. I think we need closure on some of these characters, and the
Oh
demand
yeah.
is there. That's the thing. Like
Yeah.
if the fans are talking about how much they want it and how successful this has been, the studio
Hmm.
execs are saying, could we make this happen and should we make this happen? And
Hmm.
I don't see a downside to it. I think the Amazing Spider-Man movies are kind of getting it's almost like a prequel kind of thing where they're kind of getting some love now a little bit in a way,
Hmm.
and especially this,
Those the
yeah.
like the Amazing Spider-Man films have now shifted to become like my kids' favorite. Like my boys always ask to watch. Can we watch them with the Lizard Man?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people who like the Amazing Spider-Man 1 over the Raimi movies. I'm not one of
Hmm.
those people, and I understand why. It's more of a modern take, and
Yeah.
it's got some more modern filmmaking sensibilities versus Raimi's style.
Right.
And I'm going to get in trouble for this, but I like the Amazing Spider-Man 2. I see its problems, X, Y, and Z,
Hmm.
but I enjoyed Spider-Man in that movie. I enjoyed the action in that
Yeah.
movie. And the last scene of Amazing Spider-Man 2 is it's still one of the best Spider-Man moments in live action film ever, in my opinion.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And I love it. It's quintessential Spider-Man. I'm here for it. Give it to me now. Give it to me yesterday. I was really destroyed as a young man whenever Spider-Man 4 was canceled and they announced the Amazing Spider-Man the same day. And
Mm.
it's been a journey, but I feel lucky that we've gotten what we've gotten so far, and
Yep.
um, we're in an embarrassment of riches. So we're going to wrap things up here, Luke, getting close. The Defender Saga is completely on Disney Plus now, and this is what they're calling it, the Defender Saga, which means
Yep.
to me really kind of foretells the fact that this is its own separate thing. We're not going to use this continuity. Like if there's
Hmm.
the Infinity Saga, this is the Defender Saga, right? And
Yep.
a cool note here is that there was no edits at all to the violence, none of that stuff
Yep.
on the episodes, and they went straight on Disney Plus, which is kind of it's wild compared to where we were at 2 years ago when the service launched. So like we have the Punisher on here now doing the Punisher
Yeah.
like things. It's a brutal show, and it's unedited. And now you have to, like when you
Yeah.
go on Disney Plus, you can change your your
Yeah.
restrictions and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. We when we got home last night, we threw on something on Disney Plus. But my wife was kind of doing it, and she noticed like, oh, they're asking. There's like a new prompt.
Yeah,
Like it says like there's now like new content or mature content or something. It's like, oh yeah, like all of Netflix stuff has moved over and none of it's edited.
it's wild. And to me, that just foretell like I think I want this. I said this a few episodes ago. I want the version of Disney Plus that the international people are getting in terms of there's the Stars account and you get all
Hmm.
the Fox movies and all that kind of stuff. Like
Yeah.
I would like it if Hulu combined with Disney Plus just so I can have everything in
Yeah.
one spot. I'll pay even 15 like combine the prices. I don't care. I'll pay it. I just want it in one app so I don't have to go
Right.
switching apps.
Yeah.
And I love the idea of having Deadpool and Logan
Yeah.
on the service. Like there's something
Yeah.
about as a collector, the collector part of me, there's something about having it all in one concise place where I can be like,
Yeah.
here it is, here's everything, and I can look at it and
Yeah.
I don't know, there's something about it.
Well, yeah, I try to be a minimalist, so like that's ideally what I want is like just a single app. And it's funny, it's like if you get on film Twitter, like it's like UK film Twitter's like jokingly laughing at us, or like they just think it's humorous that like we get all excited and we're just like, look at all this stuff that we get over here.
Yeah, I know. I I want it. I want it right
Yeah.
now. And it also, again, it kind of just opens up that door, of like, hey, here's some more mature content. We could make a rated R Marvel Studios TV show now, and I don't think for one second Daredevil will be rated R. I think it will be a PG-13 limited series, like we've gotten. I think it will be like a soft reboot. I think we might have some of the same actors, but I think it'll be like
Hmm.
it'll be different, of course, and it'll have that MCU
Yeah.
aesthetic to it.
I'm very curious on that because I'm seeing more and more like Daredevil reboot, reboot, reboot. I'm like, I don't want like a full on reboot. I don't have to go through like season one all over again, but just make it canon to like the MCU world. Like, can they do it in a smart way where like just give us just micro things of like set up and then move on?
Well, I think it'll be a lot like Spider-Man: Homecoming in that way, where
That's what I'm hoping for.
I think it will be. And again, it could be a movie. I would bet money it's going to be like a 6 episode limited series. Again, with that MCU
Yeah,
budget, and he's going
yeah,
to be a little more acrobatic. He's going to be a little more Daredevil-y comic, and we're going
yeah,
to see. It's not going to be as grounded, I don't think, as that show. But I still think we have obviously Wilson Fisk, Vincent
hmm,
D'Onofrio as Kingpin. We probably have
yep,
Foggy. We probably have um, I can't think of her name, but Kate, I think her name's Kate, and the girl in the show. I think we still have
yeah.
those people, and I think it's going to be. I bet money. I just have a feeling we're going to get the yellow red Daredevil
Oh yeah,
costume, like his
yeah,
OG costume first, and it's
yeah.
going to be
I think we get that.
MCUized. It's going to be more colorful and that kind of stuff first, and we may go to the classic red later, but I have a
Yeah,
feeling. And again, I bet money he'll be in She-Hulk. You kind of have to because it's a lawyer show. Has to be in
yeah,
She-Hulk. He'll
yep.
probably be in Echo and the Disney Plus show that's spinning off from Hawkeye. And he'll probably, yeah, I mean, he's gonna pop up. He's gonna be in all kinds of shit, which I'm
Oh yeah.
I'm game for. I love it. I love
Oh
Matt
yeah.
Murdock.
I mean, as soon as he said he's in, he's committed. Like he wants
Oh
to do
yeah,
this as long
and
as he possibly can. Like,
yeah, and
let's
why
go.
wouldn't you be? Like it's like he got it's like one of those things when the show come out, they were always touting it as like this is part of the MCU and everything else, and Feige and all them never acknowledged that ever,
Yeah.
and at least on like publicly, and they were just like dreaming, like when they were signed on, like, oh, this is part of the MCU, like don't worry, there'll be crossovers, that kind of stuff, and it never happened for them, and that probably like they probably bummed them out a little bit because they're like
Yeah.
the the stepchild that doesn't get attention, right, and now they're getting a second chance and they're bringing their fan base with them and they get to have a whole new fan base from it because they are great actors, and so I think it's going to
Mhm,
be a lot
mhm.
of fun. We're going to wrap this up real quick. This isn't like super heavy debate here to talk about, but some casting news that's interesting. Christopher Lloyd is in talks to be in season 3 of The Mandalorian from Back to the Future. I love Christopher
Mhm.
Lloyd. I'm glad he's
Yep.
popping up in a few things later. It's pretty cool.
Yep.
Graham Greene, Academy Award nominee, is going to be an Echo for Disney Plus. He's a great actor, and it kind of shows you that's picking up steam there, and it will be probably with this next year sometime. Um, Sydney Sweeney, who is getting a lot of attention in Euphoria on HBO Max,
Mhm.
she is in cast in Madam Web in a mystery role, which I'm excited for that one, and I'm just the possibilities of Madam Web is just so interesting to me. It's almost, I won't lie, part of it to me is like it's almost like an Aunt May movie in terms of do I never would have thought, oh, let's make a Madam Web movie. Like Madam Web typically is the character that brings the other characters together, but I'm okay with
Yeah.
it because I feel like this might, it could double as a Spider Woman movie like Spider Woman that turns into Madam Web,
Mhm.
and I think that's interesting, and it also paves the way for these bigger things to come. And even I didn't put this in the thing, but I'll mention it here. Marissa Tomei mentioned like, oh, she would totally come back, and she said there's so many other things we can do with Aunt May, even
Yeah.
after her passing in No Way Home. And so I wonder, is there a universe where Marissa Tomei plays a Spider Woman?
Oh, possibly. I did watch the interview where said, she sees it and she's down for it. Um, or even the version that we get in like Into the Spider-Verse,
Yeah.
where she just knows that there's spider people,
Right.
and she's just kind of the bridge that connects them all together. It's almost like, does she become like the Alfred, right?
Right. Right.
She learns how to create all the gear and help out and do stuff.
Yeah. No, I also see her being Madam Web. I think it's very possible she would play it. She'd be a good Madam Web. Actually, she actually, she's getting
Yeah.
older in age, and that's the thing. I have a feeling though the Madam Web movie is going to be, they're going to make her more active. They're not going to make her sit in a chair blinded and just spouting
Right.
out mystical, knowledge. But
Yeah.
anyway, if you've seen the animated Spider-Man show, like that's a perfect example of what happens there with all the Spider-Man coming together, and she's kind of leading them on and that kind of stuff. And the last bit of cast news before we wrap this up is Don Cheadle will appear in Secret Invasion, and Samuel Jackson dropped this little nugget. Yeah, I mean that's looking to be a really interesting property. We know we have Ben Mendelsohn coming on from reprising his role as Talos from Far From Home and Captain Marvel, which is he was probably the best part of Captain Marvel. And
Hmm.
Samuel Jackson, of course, is always a treat. And you
Yep.
wonder how long I guess he'll go forever, but you wonder how long they're going to want to keep his story going. But
Yeah.
I'm excited. I mean, that comes out. I don't know, when does Secret Invasion come out? Maybe it's this year. I don't know. It's probably next year. Let's look it up. It says, oh man, it's expected to
not.
premiere late this year, possibly. And they're shooting right now. So we know we have Moon Knight in March, or at the end of this month, leading into Doctor Strange. We have Miss Marvel, I believe, in June. June 8th. And I think the only thing on the docket, it might be Secret Invasion, because we have Doctor Strange, Thor, Love and Thunder,
Hmm.
Black Panther in the fall, and I don't know when. Let's look. Okay, no, the Marvels is February 2023. So yeah, it's Black Panther's November. So we have Doctor Strange, Thor, and Black Panther. Okay, yeah, I think Secret Invasion will come out this year. I bet money it'll be out in the fall sometime. Betting hard money. And then we also have the Halloween special, and the
Yep.
Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special, and She-Hulk. Okay, forgot She-Hulk. Man, there's a lot this year. Damn.
Yeah.
Maybe Secret. I bet. Okay, now I'm thinking Secret Invasion will be pushed to next year. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. I think it'll be that. I'm leaning Secret Invasion will be 2023.
Yeah, but if you're looking at this though, I mean, She-Hulk's in post right now, right? Miss Marvel's coming out, Moon Knight's coming out, but filming right now is Secret Invasion, and they're going to shoot Guardians holiday special back to back with Guardians 3.
Hmm.
So it's possible that Secret Invasion comes out this year. We'll see. We'll see. Because Ironheart, Armor Wars, and the Untitled Wakanda series might be a couple years out, but Ironheart and Armor Wars are 100% coming out next year.
Yeah.
Bet hard money on that one. Especially, I bet hard money. Okay. All right. Well, we did all the news for the week. Let's go our last here. Last thing we did on the show, of course, is talking about the Blu-ray releases coming out tomorrow. 4K Blu-ray. The only new movie coming out is Nightmare Alley, and there's a Best Buy Steelbook. And then the 4K re-releases is the Godfather Trilogy Remastered, Eastern Promises from 2007, the Hunger Games Ultimate Steelbook Collection from Best Buy, and of course, Fatale, which is the 2020 movie that came out a couple years ago. Have you seen Nightmare Alley, Luke?
I have.
Is it good?
I did not care for it.
Really? Did you like Shape of
Yeah.
Water?
I have not seen Shape of Water.
Oh, okay. I don't even. Is it like a no spoilers? 'Cause I'm going to watch it soon this week actually. But is it what is it? Is this a monster movie? Is this a gothic horror movie? What is it?
Nightmare
Nightmare
Alley.
Yeah.
It's no, it's not a monster movie. It is. It's this very noir style kind of. Man, it's hard to. I don't know how to best describe it without spoiling anything.
It's okay. It's like a mystery, kind of murder mystery,
It's
or
kind of like has this detective-ish feel at times, but it's like more of like a mystery. Yeah.
okay.
I don't know. If you if you're gonna watch it, try to turn off your like film brain and just kind of go into it.
Oh, that's hard for me because this is an Oscar movie.
is for
So,
me.
I'm a or Oscar nominee. So I'm doing my. I've been putting it off, but this week I'm doing my. Got to watch all the Oscar Best Picture noms. I watched Coda last night, which I really enjoyed actually.
It's on my list to watch as well. Hopefully, I'll try to get to that one soon. Yeah, I've been slowly working. I just got back from vacation, so I try to catch up on a few things.
Yeah, it's hard, man.
Have you watched X? Did you go see that yet?
I didn't. I was going to over the weekend, but I decided not to. And also, like some of the people that I see on Facebook, they say they really didn't really care for it, or it was kind of just like whatever. But I want to watch it. Like I was excited about the trailer. Yeah. Did you get a chance to watch it?
Not yet. No, I was going to try to catch it this week because nothing like it was really that, and then the movie we mentioned at the very beginning, the Jujutsu Kaisen, like that and X were the only things that came out last weekend. So
I don't know what Jujutsu Kaisen Zero is, but it sounds cool as fuck. So
which I don't know if looking at. I've heard Outfit is really good.
Outfit. I guess I don't know that one either.
That's at if you're Arkansas based, Riverdale 10.
Okay. I actually been wanting to go back to Riverdale 10 just to experience a different theater. I haven't been there in a while, and just to do something different. Yeah. What real quick, and we'll get off here. What's the movie that you've seen so far that's nominated for Best Picture that is your favorite?
Oh geez, I gotta find that list real quick.
Yeah, we have The Power of the Dog, we have Coda, we have Licorice Pizza, which I just watched a couple days ago, Dune, West Side Story, Belfast, Drive My Car, which I'm watching. It's a 3-hour movie I'm watching this week. I think they did the full 10, I think, this year, I believe.
Yeah, or maybe not. Just from that list, unfortunately, I've only seen one of the films. I've only seen Dune.
Yeah. Okay. You gotta catch up, man. Oscars is Sunday.
I gotta catch up, yeah. And that was my full intention. Like I downloaded. So Drive My Car's on HBO. I had downloaded it.
Thank God. Okay.
And I downloaded French Dispatch, but I ended up watching We Crashed.
Okay. Yeah.
I had a long layover and ended up just watching the new episode of Servant, and then I watched the 3 released episodes of We Crashed.
Gotcha.
Yeah. We gotta catch up on films.
Alrighty, well, I'm trying to power through these this week. I got lucky, and King Richard's one of them too. I got lucky because I'd seen a couple of them, and Nightmare Alley is one of them too. So you have seen Nightmare Alley?
I have seen Nightmare Alley. I've seen Dune.
Okay, yeah. So there's a lot. I think I have to watch one every week this week to kind of catch up by Sunday, which is going to be a challenge, but I'm up for it. Alrighty, man. Well, I appreciate it. How can our listeners find you and all the cool things you do, Luke?
Yeah, best place is youtube.com/Luke Urban. That should link out to everywhere, but you can also just search on your favorite podcasting app for Agents of Mace. I believe we are recording our 1-year podcast anniversary episode this week.
Awesome. I think I talked to other day about Agents of Mace. What are you guys talking about? Getting ready for? I think you're doing a WandaVision rewatch, right? Is that what it is?
Yeah, we just wrapped up the WandaVision rewatch. Really, just getting ready for Doctor Strange 2. We'll cover Morbius, but this week will just be like fun. Since it's our anniversary, we'll just kind of talk about favorite moments, just kind of covering recent Marvel rumors, things like that.
How many people do you have on the pod at one time? Is it like a max of 3 or 4, or what's your guys' format?
Yeah,
3.
Right now, just 3 of us. Yeah.
Do you guys do like a video stream, or do you guys just do podcasts?
We've just been doing audio, but we may release video for our anniversary.
Cool. Let me check it out. Alrighty, and of course, guys, if you haven't, again, hit that subscribe button. Assuming you're on YouTube, it's really the only place to watch the 2for1 Joe live, youtube.com/2for1 Studios. And of course, our podcast 2for1, is on all podcast services. We just talked about The Boys Diabolical. I think we released it a couple days ago. And this week we are having Bruce Hutchinson on, I believe Wednesday night, don't quote me, to break down The Truman Show from a script analysis level. Next week after that, we are talking, I think, Halo, the TV show, then Moon Knight, and then, of course, we are talking about Morbius. So we've got a few busy weeks ahead of us, all leading up to Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Alrighty, everybody. I appreciate you guys listening to us. Luke, thank you so much for being on the channel. There's always news every week, so we'll keep going. We'll keep doing more news stuff. So I appreciate it, and thanks, everybody. We'll talk to you later.
Yep. Bye, everyone.